What? What? What are you saying, Speaker Shay Grace? You don't know, because I have a piece of tape over my mouth. And you know what that's like? That's like not having a voice. And that's exactly where I was in 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. I was voiceless. I had a throat injury that rendered me a mute, where my vocal cords, my rytenoids were all swollen up for such a long time. They atrophied, so they didn't work. So I understand what it's like to have a message, to have instruction, to have wisdom, to have education, but not be able to tell anybody about it because I did not have the ability to speak. And most other people did not know sign language, even when I learned sign language as another form of communication. Why am I sharing this with you? Because it is so important for you to get what's in here out. You need to get what's in your head onto some paper, into a computer, into a CD, into a DVD. Why? Because you have wisdom, you have knowledge, you have understanding, you have know-how that the world needs. And even if it's not for the world, your children need to know it. Your, that's the birds. I guess they want to know it too. I'm outside, as one of my online coaches, Infinite Waters, diving deeply, says he's out in nature, baby, breathing in that good ass prana. So I came outside to make a video just to get in tune. But listen, if you are ever at a place that you cannot speak, it is a seriously devastating place to fucking be. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But the reason I'm making this video is to impress on you the importance of getting what's in your head out of your head and into the marketplace and into a book, into a tangible item that can be passed on for generations. My question is this, although it might sound grim, if you had a stroke, like my father did a few years ago, he had a stroke, he was paralyzed, his throat and everything, and he could no longer talk. So by the time I made it out of Atlanta back up into Ohio, he had important things to tell me because his life was coming to an end, and I think he knew it. But he couldn't even talk to me. He couldn't even tell me what I needed to know for the next stage of my life. He couldn't warn me as a daughter because he could not talk. He lost his voice from a stroke, from high blood pressure, okay? And it was so sad because here he is, he's taken all this wisdom with him. But if he had taken time to write a book, I would know what I needed to know as a businesswoman, as an entrepreneur, as a daughter, as a woman of God. Why? Because he was a man of God. Why? Because he was a business owner. He never worked for anybody else. He was a husband. He might have told me how to even be a wife. He might have told me, this is how you let a man treat you. This is how you don't let a man treat you. Either way, he did not leave the information for me. Don't let that be the case for you. So I want to ask you this. If, God forbid, you had one last day to share something with your children, you had only 5 things that you could tell your kids that would set them up for the rest of their life or success, what would it be? Identify those 5 things that you would tell your kids, even if they're grown, that will help them move forward in a positive way in their life. Okay? You are a boss. What are 5 things you would tell your employees that they need to do should you get in an accident tomorrow on the way to work? You can't tell them anything else. What do they need to know to continue to run your business or to run a business like yours? Your network marketing? What are the top 5 things you would share with your downline members to help them be successful and to help them build a residual income that can sustain their life? What would you tell them? You a pastor? What are the most 5 important things that you need to tell your church members or your congregations? Even if it's stuff you've never told them before. Even if it's discoveries you know about the Word of God or about the Spirit that you have not been preaching, but you really think they should know, and you haven't told them. Because if you really tell them, they'll probably fucking leave your church. I'm talking about the truth. that truth that you've discovered, that God has revealed to you that you haven't shared. You need to find out those 5 things, and you need to put it into a book, into a CD, into a DVD, into a webinar, into something that can live on beyond you and your voice. Are you a leader? Are you a doctor? Are you a CEO, a mover and a shaker? You probably have proteges, predecessors, people who are going to come behind you and carry your mantle, carry your wisdom, carry your business, carry your legacy on into the future. What do those people need to know? Top 5 things. I challenge you to hit like on this video. If you know there are 5 things that you need to share with people, 5 things. It's time for us to start giving back. It's time for us to start getting it out of our head and into some books. I know people have been talking about, I'm going to write a book. They have been talking about it in the 70s and in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. Now we're in this decade, books still inside of them. My uncle, dead 3 months ago, books still inside of him. My cousin passed away last week, books still inside of her. My grandparents, herbalists, books inside of them, and they're gone now. Now we got to start all over from scratch learning shit that they already knew. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be your kids. Don't let that be the people below you in your organization. Get the information out and reproduce what you know. Listen, if you need help doing this, you need to connect with me. I'm Speaker Shay Grace. I'm the CEO of Becoming Inc. No, it's not a new company. Started back in 1996. And I have been helping people to develop intellectual products for years. We can help you. We can help you. Get in connection with us. I'll leave a little link if you want to schedule a little 15-minute chat, discovery session to see if we can help. Be sure to click on it and get on the schedule. You know why I got this blue scarf on? Because it's my throat chakra scarf. It's a blue, which has to do with the chakras. I'll talk to you about that later in another video. But it's something I remind myself of, because I need to stay reminded of my voice and the healing that I've gotten. All right, let's talk soon. Hit me up. Get that information out of you. Leave your legacy. Peace out.